Alright, what's up, sexies? Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on this door.
Boo. Yep, boo.
Okay, well, okay, let's look at it. So this is what the door looks like. It's the right inside. Around. So basically, this is but, yeah, this is what it looks like.
It's been a while because we've been working on a secret project.
Secret project! This is really just a distraction. It's not an actual
Yeah, we just took a break from it because it was so late. Yeah, so this is, so the dimensions of this are 3 by 11 by 11. Otherwise, if I'm wrong, it should be 3 by, actually, yeah, it's 3 by 11 by 11. It's like the size, yeah, it's the average size of your, it's the average. Sure, the one thing I need to point out is disgusting. Fuck you, Phyllis. Yeah, I hate this. I don't like this. Anyways, so this is just the order of how we're gonna build this. If you want to build this in any other order, I don't know what is wrong. So I'm just gonna start with the layout. Your area is 3 by 11, and you're gonna dig. Once you know where your floor is, you're gonna just dig 2 underneath. And if you want to mess around, you can. And you need to dig 2 from every direction of your frame, which I'm obviously guessing you know where it is. Okay, so let's get, so I'm just going to start with the bottom up. You're going to have 5 pistons here. This could technically just be 3, but 3 and then 5 on the sides. Yeah. Yeah, it actually kind of does make space much. Yeah. So this is like the main way. Yeah, we spent like 30 minutes trying to work out one stupid part of the bottom. So this, yeah. So this is the top. These two the sides, and this is the one. So this is just the main bulk. Yeah. So we're gonna have it. So, just to make this easier for me, I'm actually just gonna use World Edit for this. I'm not on Synergy, so I'll just put the server in the description if you want to see stupid door that we made. So in this floor, there's going to be a stupid slider, which literally was the bane of our existence.
I came up with this slider. I think it's very cool. So yeah, so basically you want to have a non-sticky piston right here.
Oh my god, please
oh my
just
god,
play.
Fuck you, you're so bad. Jesus Christ. So you want to have a non-sticky piston here, the regular piston. This needs to be a sticky piston. Oh right, sorry. Non-sticky block. This needs to be sticky. And then just like a non-sticky piston right
Yeah,
back.
so there's also one.
The importance of that. Can I show?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. So the importance of that is it basically eliminates the need for a triple on the bottom. It makes it smaller and also makes it easier. So you slide it in for the closing, and then this is basically how you close the door. And then basically once you're done retracting, the top will push this block down.
So the bottom is the same opening and closing.
Once you retracted it, this can just slide away.
The bottom,
it was never really there.
Yeah, the bottom is the same as the opening and closing other than whatever this is. I'll get to after. So
except for when the AIDS drop, it's that we're
so it originally was like this, but to make the yellow slightly easier, we did it like this. The sides are quite simple. They're just 3 double extenders. If I could actually place
them. There's three doubles over here.
And there's no doubles on the top.
Just to speed it up, I'm gonna do it on this side as well.
Now the top is, so in your regular 363 block 5x5, you're gonna have a triple on the top, like like this. But for us,
you have a triple, but
we're beautiful
because we're sexy
and we're low.
Cool, we folded ours. So basically, this serves as a triple extender. Well, actually, it serves as a quad, but it serves as a triple. But it's only 2 high instead of 3 high, and that makes it smaller.
I'm gonna point out certain blocks here. Certain blocks that need to actually be solid. Well, for observer survivors, you can just place repeaters on top of anything now, or just I believe these two and specifically this block here, because this block will get moved over to this point here in the closing.
These two. Yep, these two need to be solid as well. Over here.
Which one?
This one needs to be solid.
Yeah, this one has to be with a butted piston. This one here does not need to be solid because it can just literally just be anything. You can even use
And I'm
cauldrons.
pretty sure that's it. We'll go over if it needs to be solid later if we find any other. Here, let me get a hopper back in there. Sorry.
Anyways, so that is the layout. The way that this works is this will be a one tick, this will be pushed in, and then that's a triple.
No, wait, hold up. So in the closing of the actual door, in the closing of the door, you only actually need to push it down like this. Because think about it, if you have your wall, if you have your stuff pushed in, then this is going to be the part of the 3x3 inside.
Yeah.
But for the opening, you actually just need to push it down. So that's just how it does. And that's actually exactly how the opening works.
Okay, so that is actually the whole layout. Next, Defrolus will build the beautiful input circuit, which is probably the most easy.
It's 1.16 and is ugly and stupid.
Okay, so while Defrolus does this, I'm actually going to do something really cool. I'm just going to spectate him while he builds. If I actually when it's the right game mode. Okay, you can start building.
Alright, so I might need to look back every once in a while because I've only spent like very little time on this door.
Yeah, we can.
So you want to have 3 lines of redstone here, a block here, and a block here. The lever can be on either side. I just like it on the right side because that's how we did it.
And then
so
you
then you're
switch
gonna have a sticky piston, a redstone block here, and a sticky piston and a redstone block here as well. Then what you're gonna have to, it'll make sense once we build the doubles. But you're gonna have a block here. Actually, it seems to be a no block. No block. Then you need an observer facing down into another block.
No, you should also block off the doubles because they're gonna fire when you do the closing.
Yeah, you might want to just put some furnaces here. Guardian doesn't like furnaces, so that's why I use them.
Yeah, I prefer end portal frames because they're much better.
Yeah. Okay, so if we just mirror this, the end portal frames are better, but I just use it because Guardian doesn't like them. They're not annoying like that. So that's the top and the sides sorted.
You're also forgetting an observer.
But now we have to do now we have to power the bottom. So you might be wondering, well, how do you power this? Because you're only actually allowed to go 1 block down here.
Also, by the way, you forgot one more thing. You forgot this 1 tick repeater.
Oh, right. There's a 1 tick repeater right here.
But on the other side, there is a regular piston here.
That goes into here, and that's very important for the
triple.
This is very important for the closing and the triple. So now to power the bottom, we're gonna actually have an observer slider, and just to make it faster, we're gonna do something called zero ticking it.
So this is just very simple zero tick stuff. I suck at zero ticks in general.
I don't exactly know how it works. No cap on a stack, but
the piston faces up.
I believe the piston faces up. Okay, faces up. And so the way that we are going to power that is we're going to have a hopper
and
here,
then curved up.
And then an observer facing here and an observer facing down.
Now you're probably wondering this could be like this. It cannot because of the thing that I literally spent 30 minutes trying to figure out. I wanted these two to be here with a block, but if this is red, you're just going to be left with this. And we would have to pulse this again to be aids.
Yeah, it breaks the door later. So anyway, if you are going to power these sides, you will see how the bottom fires.
Yeah.
These pistons all fire synchronously, which is
because
very nice.
Is, I'll probably explain this in a second.
And so yeah, and now I will leave it to Guardian, I guess, to do the doubles.
Why did this not fire? Oh. It's because... Well, they get power from the doubles. Okay, that's fine. So, these two get power from the double extenders, which we can actually get to in a second. But before I do that, I'm just going to explain how the slider works. So basically, given this a 1 tick or a 2 tick, we'll basically just push this across. But the second this observer turns on in this position, it will fire this block butting this. Now you're probably wondering, can this be a no block because it looks better? It cannot, because it will not create the zero tick because it's an instant updater and pistons extending with the base. So like with this part, the back part,
they get 2 updates.
Yeah, it would have 1 micro tick of delay, so that's why cool zero ticking is a thing. Otherwise, it all breaks. So basically it will just push back instantly. And this is not going to double pulse because the observers are pushing back while they turn. The observers are pushing back while they turn off, so they just don't get an update. And that's why 2 ticking a sticky piston into an odd never fires, because while it's updating, it just retracts and it just can't update because it's moving. And
yeah, that's what I believe Guardian is talking about when you have a 2-tick repeater here,
into
a dust,
yeah.
into a sticky piston here with an obs. So actually, if you notice,
It doesn't matter what edge. It doesn't matter what edge.
Yeah. It will never fire. It just breaks.
Unless it's a 2.5 tick.
Because
But,
observers update while they're moving,
yeah, so,
and then it doesn't work.
Yeah, so let's get into... Actually, we're supposed to be building cyan now, but just for the sake of these side pistons, I'm just going to quickly start lime. So these 2 blocks here are just actually part of the Dalton. They need to be solid because they need to be able to fire this piston here in this position. So you need... They're the exact same on both sides, by the way. So what I like to do in this particular situation is for them to automatically reset is you place a 1 tick and then you do it after, but if you do it fast like this, you'll only get 1 pulse and you have to reset it. So this will also do everything plus the back 2 doubles, and this was very simple, just completed in 5 minutes. Now these 2 only happen because of this dust, which is actually beneficial because that's how we do it, because we have this. And now I might as well actually just build this right now, this small part. So this just goes into here, and this will actually have an extra hopper. And this will do the full extension. We'll get to the retraction afterwards. But right now, Deferlis is going to build Cyan, part 1, which will just be the extension.
Okay, so the funny part is, I tried building Cyan on my own like a while ago, and I failed, but now I built it again. It was the easiest thing I've ever done. So either I'm getting better at Redstone, or I was just really stupid. Both are true. Yeah. So anyway, you're going to have a sticky piston coming in from this repeater. You're going to have an observer on the end.
2
then
hoppers.
You are going to have
2 hoppers.
A hopper here. An observer. I believe it's...
It's a block repeater. It's a block repeater.
Into a block, and then into a repeater here.
And then
so this is going to do...
Well, obviously the repeater sits on top of a wall, ceiling block.
Yep. And then for the other one, you're also going to have a hopper into... No, sorry. This is going to go into a 2-tick repeater, into a block, into a 1-tick repeater, into a block, into a dust.
And those 3 also... One more thing. These 3 blocks here are in fact part of the ceiling, so just for...
Yeah, you make those,
So this is 2 repeaters, and this dust, like we said earlier, needs to be able to bud this piston, because otherwise it's impossible, and it's really bad.
So essentially, so you can see that this is, because of the way this works, this kind of inverts the signal. So when this lever gets flicked, this redstone block pushes down. So this repeater turns off, which means this observer gets retracted, powering this hopper, powering this observer, powering this block, powering this repeater. And this is important for the closing.
Yeah,
and then
so this will push down this block.
I forgot to put in is this. This is very important. This is...
Oh yeah, we're also missing one more thing. We are missing this. Which actually...
So essentially, this only has 1 tick delay. So this is going to fire the top piston very first. So let me just do that.
Because it's directly behind this lever. So this will fire, and then because this piston plus this piston, this repeater...
This top piston... Oh, wait, what? Why doesn't it break?
You're doing it on the wrong side. Idiot.
Stupid.
Oh, because of this. Okay.
So yeah, so this 0-6.
That's why I use buttons.
This 1-6, my bad. So because this fires very first because it only has 1 tick.
And then you also have to wait for this piston, this repeater.
This piston is going to extend, which means this piston is going to retract. And then this storage is going to fire, and this has less delay than the other side. So basically, this storage is going to one tick like that, and then finally this is going to retract last, and it's going to do this.
Because of this piston, this repeater, plus this piston retracting, and then there's this. And
then so this is basically the entire door closed. And then so for the first part of the opening, I'm going to also build that. This is going to. So this is we put you like this.
Oh, it's not in the right state.
Yep, I don't care.
Put this in the
But
right state.
now on this edge for the opening. So this dust is gonna fire, and so basically when this piston's here, and this dust, or sorry, when this piston's here and this piston's here, and this dust powers, something very interesting happens. So normally, this doesn't get an update, but because of the fact that this piston is actually here, when this dust fires, this piston extending updates the piston.
And also because of demonstration, this is not here, but fine.
Yeah. So we give it a 2-tick, and that pushes the blocks down. That's very important for the bottom because the bottom can't. If we don't push the blocks down, the bottom's going to be much harder.
Yeah, and also this is in a not good state.
So yeah, so at the end, so you're going to have a piston, an observer into a block.
And this was actually
yes, and then there's just going to be a dust on top of it.
Yeah, this actually does a majority of the triple. This actually does everything up to about here.
And so now I'm going to hand it over to Fartman 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yes,
6,
it's my new IGN. I copied him. So if we just showcase what we have everything up to here.
This happened on the closing, and then on the opening, this fires.
It's really fast. So what we need now is... Now I actually use this piston 2-tick, because this is a 2-tick. Giving this a 2-tick actually does a double pulse. It does this.
It's a very quick double pulse.
So this is actually, you can actually use this in conjunction with like other piston doors. So you can just, it basically does this. But
yeah. So wait, if I'm gonna get out of game mode, I'm gonna get out of game mode 3 for a second. The reason why this works.
And this is actually 100% reliable.
So
unless
so
it's in certain circumstances.
If you do this very quickly, the retraction of that piston immediately updates this. So this piston, when the redstone block gets placed again, this piston actually doesn't have time to extend because this piston's already being powered, and then you remove the redstone block and then it gets an update actually.
And now I actually use this 2-tick piston to this in a different door, which will be coming to the channel in a very long time because I found no time to bother finishing it. I just need a sequence for something, and then I can actually finish the goddamn door. It's a waste of my time. I haven't done it for a while.
I hate it so much. It's literally so bad.
Yeah, so...
Okay, so I'm gonna hand it over to Go.
Yeah, so this next part was very simple. We need 2 ticks with... So... Okay. So this is a note block. This is for a note block because of... The reason why this doesn't work, the reason why there is a derp here, because if I show you this, there would be a derp with this block, this sea lantern here. So, if
I'm looking for you. Wait, hold up. So, I'm gonna get into game mode 1. So
this is actually because of this.
Yep. So, the reason that happens is because because of the way that the triple is folded, there's actually going to be a piston there at that time when it's retracting, and the piston gets 1-ticked. So the note block's here, so that basically when this fires, it retracts the piston back, and it doesn't actually break. So that's why the derp happens.
So we have this note block because we need to bud this piston to retract it. Then we're going to take out 2 2-ticks. Now, you're probably thinking, can this just be a 1-tick? Can't.
Nope.
We tried, it doesn't work.
It needs to be a 2-tick for delay.
Now...
we optimized the hell out of the top, but then it was irrelevant because the bottom sucks!
So, what's really cool is that this piston here being regular means it cannot pull back this block breaking up, which is really nice. And because we're keeping this consistent...
You could also just make this like a terracotta or something and make this a sticky, but it's just more expensive, so why would you do it?
And because this stays a 2-tick, because this is a 1-tick, this turns into a 2-tick, this stays a 2-tick because it's more, this dust fires us becoming a 2-tick, because this is still a 2-tick, blah blah blah. This becomes a 2-tick, meaning that we can do the exact same thing as this, but over here. And this was actually lucky that it worked. Now this is actually the reason why we need the derpy piston.
So there's a lot of stuff that's happening here. So if I
here, look, I'll fire menu. So this is actually why it's really fast. If I do this. What this does is, if I get back into this
thing... Wait, could you run it one more time to show them the derp? That's what we need to fix.
Oh.
So if you give it a 1-tick.
Yeah.
See, so this gets pushed down.
Now, I will explain that right now.
That's
so,
bad.
Basically, the reason why this is that, well, because this gets a 2-tick, this is actually why this works. And this is, I believe, reliable. So this will fire. first. Now the way the pistons work is that firing them like in a situation like this, where you want to just push out this one and this one, you need to wait 2 ticks. So if you're using 1 ticks, you need to wait 2 ticks after this one extends. So like, if you fire this one and then 1 tick later try to fire this one must be a 0 tick. But in this case it's not. So, but if you do it like this, you can actually fire this piston first and then 1 tick this one. But in this case, because we're retracting it, like I showed you earlier, because we're retracting it, it's not extending it, we need to wait 2 ticks, so that's what these 2 extra observers are for. So when this piston fires, it will grab this back. Now that's going to fire some stuff, that's fine. That's just how I was firing it.
And then he will do the same cool thing that we just showed earlier.
Yeah, with this thing.
Which is just gonna...
Yeah, but it's done in a different way.
Hold up. So it's gonna go doop, and then doop.
Here, I'll explain this.
And then it's gonna get an update from...
So we are here. We're gonna do the exact same thing here, but it's different. Because this being a 2 tick, and it's a very short pulse, this will just get a 1 tick, but it will get cancelled by this retracting the block, this piston being block 36, which is the state where any block is in between 2 blocks. It would be immovable. So that means this piston here cannot push when this is being retracted. Meaning that the same thing with this being with this ob, we just have 2 extra observers. So basically all it will do is I just fired the whole door.
Oh, you suck! You're so bad!
That's fine. Now, okay. So we'd actually be in this state.
May I explain one thing that I think you looked over?
Hold on. Sure, why not?
Okay, so let me just, if I can just bring this out for a second. So, okay, fine, let's just do it like this. So it's in this state right now, and the way that his circuit works, actually the storage fires from these observers, because this observer here, it buds this piston.
Yeah.
And so when it's in this obs chain, and you give it an update, it actually bud powers the piston while in this exact chain. So that's just a very important
now,
thing.
The reason why you're probably wondering why this is derp. Well, the reason why is because when we're in this state, remember what I told you earlier, when a piston like this and like this can extend within 1 tick, this cannot, because what's going to happen is it's going to extend, then retract. But because this is a 2 tick and this will fire twice, this observer will bug power this doing this. And we'd be in this state. So the way we fix this is with a simple kind of pulse extender thing. I used this in a TNT 2x2 TNT store a while ago, like a year ago. And this is why the note block is important. So I'll explain this. So basically lamps turn on instantly when you fire them, no matter the delay. And we actually use this later. So it turns on instantly. But I actually, in the 2x2 TNT store, I use this as a pulse extender because it takes 2 ticks to turn off. So instant on, 2 ticks turn. Now it might not look instant to turn on, it's just how it is, but it is instant turn on. You can see it takes just a small bit to turn off. Now that is what's useful because we need to wait only when this piston arrives. Now we can't just have 2 ops because it'd be 2 observers because it'd be too fast. So what we do is we act this as a pulse extender. This will pull that this will fire before observer will turn off before this piston is here. No, this will turn. Well, this lamp will turn on. This will turn on and off. This piston will now be here, so it will not fire. But then when this turns off, then it will fire. And that's actually really cool because the last 2 retractions are perfectly in sync.
Yeah, we actually used to have a slightly different circuit.
But because of this
because
line...
of the way that the sides actually operated, we need to change it, and that actually made this very, very nice sync. So, do you mind... so the entire top is actually done.
So yeah, I'm just going to fill it in.
So yeah, let's just
hold
fill
on.
it in.
This is also a ceiling block.
Actually, could you flick?
We'll do it from both. So you can see. Yeah. I think I was missing.
Oh, oops! There was this piston got pushed over. Okay,
Yeah, that's a 1 tick. And then this is a slime block, yeah. And then this
not a
goes.
slime block.
Okay, it's slime.
This
Okay,
is slimeless, by the way. I hate slime, it's so dumb.
you 1 ticked it.
Okay, so this is what the closing does,
Oh, I thought you 1 ticked it.
and then this is what the opening does.
Yeah.
And so as you can see, it's very, very in sync in the last track.
Yeah, and also this fired because of
Alright,
battery
do you want to do the last double?
Yeah, so
we
that
did these
takes
two, but
off
we didn't
this.
actually do the second
Yeah,
one,
so I'm gonna do the sides and then, yeah. So the sides are quite easy. I built a majority of it. So we already have this extension done from this dust, and 2 ticks after that, like I explained in the top, we have to wait 2 ticks after extending. This can actually be less, but it's just how it is. This will extend out, but just pretend it's on both sides. What we need is to pull this back and then pull this one back. But we need to, whenever this pulls back, we need to wait 2 ticks before pulling this back. And what we do is we actually use this observer turning off 1 tick after this turns off. So that's really nice. So well, that doesn't really help. We use that in a different version. We need a 3 tick because so this is actually a special repeater where, just like these 2 ticks, this 1 tick, this 2 tick, and the 1 tick under here, if you change it to anything else, it will not work because of the timing. But this repeater is kind of special because it can be a 4 tick. Because, yeah. So what we do is we make this weird ob chain. So this one will pull this one back.
Yeah, so that offers 5 ticks of delay, which is
So
actually
if we're grabbing the block, we'd be in this state, and then this one would already pull it back.
You might be thinking that, hold up, you might be thinking that you could just make this faster by like removing an observer or something, but the thing is that you actually have to keep in mind that to get the signal down, this has an additional tick of delay, and then from this hopper, there's also another 2 ticks to actually fire the DPE piston. So you actually have to have a lot more delay. So that's why you need to have.
Yeah, so we'd be in this state, and you're probably thinking, well, you could just do this and save a bunch of resources, but you can't because what I explained earlier, you need to wait 2 ticks after this retracts. So what we do is just do big op spin. I realized we made a mistake. This actually has to be a slab.
It'd be a slab. Yep.
And this goes down. Now this block, in theory, could be a hopper and make this 1 tick faster, but I'm too lazy, so yeah, so this actually does this thing, and you're going to copy the exact same thing on the other side. It's just that there is no slab here because there's no need, but you're going to have to do some stuff. So this is a 2 observers down.
So yeah, this is the exact same
3
thing.
tick.
So you have a 3 tick repeater
goes
here, an observer up like this, boom, boom, boom.
2 tick, and this goes there. And this will actually do everything. Now we completed this whole thing in about 30 minutes or so.
The bottom was so AIDS. Oh my god, the bottom was literally so AIDS. Yeah, that's the top. It's actually very nice and sync. So,
yeah.
But we kind of butchered that in the bottom. So
I know. I don't know why. Oh, I know why this fires. Whenever this observer fires, this piston, that's not an issue because of the fact that there is an immovable block here, and I'm just gonna start building.
It can really be any immovable block, but we like to work quirky and special, so I'm going to use a respawn anchor.
Yeah, the respawn anchor is really nice, and I'm just going to fill it up
with... It looks cool, and it's... Please do not use a respawn anchor, it's like the dumbest block ever.
Yeah, I can probably make a video on immovable blocks, and for fun, why we use these. Okay, so...
Actually, the best immovable block is to just stack it out, but that's irrelevant, and it makes the door cute.
So, the reason why this was breaking earlier is because this observer would fire this piston, but because this can extend before this one. Okay, so based on what I said before, this will fire first, because this is 1 tick. We wait 1 tick, this will try to extend while being butted. Now that will actually fire if there's no immovable block here, but because there's an immovable block here, it can't fire, and it just, well, goes here. And this acts as a regular piston, just as a normal regular piston, just this will not fire. And if you didn't see what I made,
I should do the bottom, I guess.
If you didn't see what I made, this is just dust
You
this
just put
and a
a
movable block
in the
here.
dust here.
Now this is actually part 1 of the slider. Now I know you should have did it, so I'll let you do the bottom closing, I guess, instead.
Slash opening. So yeah, I don't know. He fucked up the heads. They were different. Whatever.
Yeah.
But so basically, this closing is very neat in that actually it does the exact same thing on the opening
And the
to
closing.
actually make the door work. But the difference is there's only actually one toggle that we need to push this piston back.
Yeah.
It sounds easy, but it's literally so
This literally took us like 30 minutes to figure out.
Like, it took about as long to make this as it took to make the entire rest of the door. It was so bad. Anyway, so to do the bottom stuff, you're
So
gonna
this will be yellow, by the way. Yellow.
Here. You're gonna take an observer down here from the hopper. You're gonna take a slab, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this is not pushed back too fast from this. But actually, it would block it, and this would not fire.
Because when pistons are extended, they're removable. Just in case you didn't know that. So let's get to
because we need the delay. Now this doesn't matter if it's a slab because this would have already pushed back, so we can just do this. And this has to be solid anyway because of this next part, which I actually made.
Solid because of this redstone lamp.
Yeah.
So now I'm just gonna explain why you actually have to have a block for the slider. So when the slider is extended in, this piston's gonna be here, and so the reason why there's a block here is so that we can actually power this piston from this angle.
Yeah, and this is actually why we need a pulse extender type thing like we did on the top. So we need these 2 logs.
The lamp is yes.
So what we do,
and also the thing is that this will get a pulse when the lamp turns on, and also one when the lamp turns off.
So if we do it, I'll just show this real fast. So this can't fire, because of this, because like I said from the bud. So this will fire.
Only this is gonna fire.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna fire this again.
Because when this turns off, so.
Which means this is gonna fire, and then this is gonna fire, and then the double circuit that we made is gonna fire, and that's gonna push it up to where we need it to be.
Yeah.
This is it. When it's looks kind of like a dick, but relevant.
Yeah, and the same thing on the opening. This will be here. This will pull down. Well, because there's no movable or there's any blocks here, this will derp.
This will extend, but it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
It just derps.
Then I'll do this. Then the double extender will go, and then this will slide back using the toggle. So we actually have the entire closing. We actually have the whole closing of the whole door, besides one thing. So this, in this case, is technically an Etho door.
Yeah, technically it's a 5x5 Etho right now, and it's still decently small for an Etho, which is kind of funny.
And then just for testing, just do that. And then when we unplug it, you can see.
And it's actually temporarily a dick when the door opens.
Because of the yeah.
Okay,
so
the double.
Yeah. So this double actually went through 3 iterations because the first 2 I showed Deferus.
Guardian made a double that was literally huge, and then I made a double that was huge, and then we made another double that was not huge.
Yeah, so
actually, no, I made this double.
So we take this with 2 observers like this. Now, you're probably thinking, well, this is a pulse extender with a 4 tick. It's going to be really long, because this will turn it on instantly, and then you have to wait for the 4 tick plus an extra 2 ticks. And then when this is a 4 tick, you're probably thinking, well, this 4 tick will get 2 pulses. It actually won't. It actually just gives a regular 4 tick. I think it's actually a 5 tick, but it won't matter. So this is probably a cool way to get 5 tick.
The 4 tick pulse is actually so long.
Actually, this is actually
it doesn't matter that it pulses twice.
Actually, in reality, this is actually a rising edge 3 tick, falling edge 6. No, rising edge 4 tick, falling edge 6 tick.
It doesn't matter. Just get on with it.
So we're now at one point we had it like with a 1 tick here. No, we had it like with a 1 tick here, and then we had a 4 tick here because of certain stuff.
It really doesn't matter.
But we realized we can just change it. Yeah, so we have it like this, and I kind of forget this one point. Now we're gonna replace all this afterwards. So I'm just gonna use a regular magenta block right now.
Put a block there and a
sticky piston with a cauldron. Now the server does not automatically fill it.
It actually doesn't matter how much you fill it, just the fact that it's filled.
Yeah, so if I could actually get it.
Normally you should use like water bottles so that it doesn't actually flood your build, but there's no redstone dust on this side of the door, so it doesn't matter.
So The server does not automatically fill up the cauldron, so it sucks.
Because the server sucks. It's so dumb.
So then we have a comparator here. You can actually make this a composter in reality, but like cauldrons are cool.
Yeah, that's just.
You know what? I'll make it a composter. You don't need to do this. I'll make it.
My title is Composter Lord because of the way I did it in the 3x3 flush, which is stupid because the door is like literally so outdated.
So what we could do, just to make this not dirt, is place a torch here. Place this observer. This is actually why this block needs to be solid, because of the certain state it's in.
This block needs to be solid for the double.
This one doesn't. No, this one doesn't need to, and then you can just put that dust. This one doesn't need to. Only this one needs to, because of. So this actually does the entire door.
So actually, yeah, this will be the entire closing. So basically, this double just fires at the very end.
Now, one thing, just one more thing. You cannot make this a 4 tick. It just does not work. This must be a 4 tick.
Now, yeah.
I'm just gonna do one.
Quick thing though. Now we're so close, and we just need to make these things.
Now, just to reset this, I'm just doing this.
This is AIDS.
Yeah. So this is one thing. One thing. I'm just saying one thing. If you want to make your door cheaper, but it will not be seamless, what you can do is leave. What you can do.
You want to make your door cheaper than just rebuild the entire thing. This is literally so expensive. You don't need it.
Well,
okay,
I think if you can just.
So now we have to do the dropper toggle.
Yeah. So.
This is the most AIDS part of the entire door. So you're gonna have 2 droppers facing up here. Then we're gonna have 2 hoppers like this.
And now I'm actually going to put the output. So we need to get from this hopper down to here, but we also need to keep in mind that there is a comparator here.
Yeah, so we need to have a hopper minecart here and then a chest minecart. So the hopper minecart sucks the item out of the chest minecart and puts it in.
So these are very simple. You do this, and then because I'm in creative mode, I can just do this. So what I suggest you do in survival mode is you get a block that you can break really easily. So I suggest like dirt. So you place this in. You place like your dirt block. So I'm just going to show this. Now, I'm actually going to go into survival to prove that this is possible.
Guardian, you can literally just drop the chest minecart off. It doesn't matter.
Could, but I found this cooler. So, if you go into game mode 0, what you can do is move. You could break the dirt block and hold down the comparator like this.
Yep. And then, so yeah.
And
so now, basically, now from here,
there's just 2 more observers, 1 there, and then 1 facing up. And also make sure if you're going to use a crazy movable blocks like us, make sure this is a solid movable block, so you can't use like a hopper or an end portal frame. So you can use respawn anchors. And the item goes in this bottom one because we only want to fire on the opening.
So the reason why that is because this ugly thing acts to accomplish 2 things. Number 1. It's a toggle. It's a 2-state toggle here. Actually, it's
2-state.
Yeah, it's a 2-state. Okay, never mind. So it's a 2-state toggle here, but it also has a crap ton of hopper delay or shit ton of hopper delay. I don't care about those. And then so this actually was really AIDS to do. Because we actually had it on the other side first.
Yeah.
But then we just redo it here.
Yeah.
So basically this comparator is going to turn on, and then that's going to go into this observer, powering this hopper here, and this observer is going to get a here. So this hopper is actually serving 2 purposes. It returns the item, and it also
acts as an updater. So the way this acts as a toggle is that it fires this top one first from this repeater and then the bottom one. So then you can see the item just moves up to here. Then in the opening, it'll fire this one, then this one. But you can see that got a pulse. This one will not matter because there's so much hopper delay that it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Now also, to cheat some extra delay, what we do is, because this is a solid block, this dropper, it will keep the item locked in this hopper. So the second when this double center retracts, it will have this hopper to release the item to this one, plus all of this.
When hoppers are solid powered, let me just, for people that don't know, when hoppers are being solid powered, they actually can't move items. So let's, could you power that with the redstone block?
Here, I'll put a comparator here. And I can put an item inside. Okay, so
Here.
in this state,
So when you hard power this with a redstone block, there's a wait, no, look, hold up.
let me reset.
Let me take this out.
Just do it like this. Do it like this.
Yeah, oh my god, bruh!
Oh my god.
Okay.
Just do this. Fine.
Okay. So yeah, this hopper is solid powered. So when you put an item into it, oh my god, why? Okay.
Just put the item.
Guardian, stop interfering. So basically, when this hopper is being powered, and you put an item into it, it actually is not allowed to move. That's what it means when the hopper is locked.
Yeah.
And we exploit that here to get a little bit more delay. Because keep in mind, this is a 4-tick or technically a 5-tick pulse. So this item's gonna be locked in this hopper for 5 ticks. So that actually adds a lot of delay.
Yeah. So yeah.
So that should be the entire door if you didn't build it wrong.
Now, yeah. So I suggest you just don't flip the door yet to see if anything breaks. I should have said this at the beginning, but I was too lazy. This should be the whole door.
So that should be the closing, and then I'll unlock it.
Here you go.
And that is the opening.
And one cool thing about this door is that it's completely layout size. This is part of the bottom. This is part of the slot. Actually, yeah,
no, it's not layout size.
It is.
It's setup size.
Layout.
No, but so one thing I want to cover is this door is 1.16. So if you want to make it 1.15,
please do. I will do this really fast. Remove these.
Have slabs.
You put slabs. You have 5 dust. But we need to be able to bud power this piston, so you just do this. Now this should actually. No, because this has to be here, so it fires that back one. Because it's dumb. And this fires this normally, so you just have to raise this up by 1, and it will still work. That'd be really funny if it didn't work.
That was really sad.
No, you can input, because of this new thing,
that's 1.16 in this?
you can input this with a repeater, like this. That might be. I think that's because of repeater timings, where sometimes it doesn't work. I think that's because of just repeater timings or just battery set. But I don't know. I suggest you just hook it up with a lever and a bunch of torches.
Yeah, so this actually it adds another layer.
Yeah, but you can't do anything about it. And this is layout size. Haha, we beat you high.
I mean, we might make a 1.15 version, but I don't really care to.
Yeah. So
let's break this ugly ass frame. It looks so bad. Let's use the best frame. This is the best possible frame you can use for your door.
Blast furnaces. That is so true. Blast furnace is also the best movable block. She's blast furnaces instead of furnaces.
So sexy.
And it's just
fun. If you need a solid and movable block that also has a comparator output, you need some.
Now, one thing to mention.
That might sound very niche.
One thing to mention is we did this off camera. If you want to put this in the middle, there's a slight defect behind this. Because of the slider.
Because of the way it slides.
Yeah.
This goes over here. So
this is actually your center block. Now, you just have to keep in mind that this block here has to be solid. This one does not matter. So you can literally just make this one a slab. This one has to be solid.
I'm gonna use this last one because there's a repeater there.
Yeah, and you're so. And just
suck at typing.
And you can see that you get the ceiling in the middle.
It looks really dumb still, but you know. Oh, if you want to go extra,
I think this looks terrible.
You can just put like glowstone here. This is how Mumbo would do it. So
I think that's
use glowstone. We're Mumbo. Okay. Hello everyone, this is Mumbo. Today.
Okay. So I think this honestly looks really ugly with the X in the middle.
This looks really gay. This looks really bad. Actually, I don't know. Wait, hold up. Let's do a little bit of decoration. Wait, stop.
You can probably leave the video now. We're just fooling around with our own door.
Yeah, we have a very, very slight amount. Okay, it is imperative. If you do not have your door like this, stop! Keep it like that!
Never. I want to end the tutorial because I want to make...
Okay. If it's not like this, it will never work.
Oh yeah, you can also just do this. It looks cooler. Looks cooler. Actually, Fine.
And then let's just use gray concrete.
Yeah, we're just gonna make this look cool.
Concrete. This is very important. Oh, yeah, pro tip. You want to replace the blocks, do it when the doors close.
It makes it easier, so you know what's what.
Okay, sexy. Alright. So yeah, that's the door.
Do those to keep it looking nice and fresh. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know it's been a while because I've been making a secret project with this smelly fart man over here, which there will be a teaser showcase once it's actually done, and then I can focus on the other secret project, which I want to actually get done.
The other one is AIDS. I don't like it. Okay. Bye. You're smelly. You're stupid. I hate you. Okay. I finished the recording.
Bye.